You're listening to For Better and Worse with Jess and Rach. All right. Now that the therapy session's over,
We just had a quick hour session.
a quick hour sesh.
Not licensed, but I am willing.
I just needed to get it out into words.
One day we'll be able to talk about things. I think what's weird about having a podcast, Jerry and I have talked about this before, is like, as transparent as you are, there are always these like topics of your life you're like, can't talk about that. Can't put that out there. Like, I remember finding out that my mom listens, and I was like, so many things I can't say now. Thought it was safe.
I know. I'm glad nobody listens. But if they were, like, these are recorded out for life, you know?
We're on YouTube.
But I was thinking about that. So weird you say that. I was thinking about that on my drive here. I was like, man, some of these people really don't care who listens. And I wish I could be more like that.
Oh, yeah. Like, one of, like, I think, honestly, the first podcast I ever really started listening to is My Favorite Murder with Karen and Georgia. It's like a true crime podcast.
Everybody knows.
Everybody knows. Okay. Whatever. There might be some people not in the know. But Georgia talks about her, like, terrible relationship with her mother all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, openly. Mm-hmm. Like, we'll openly talk about fights she's had openly. And I'm like, I really, like, think that's so cool. And then, like, of course, for like Thanksgiving or something, she posted pictures with her and her mom on the Instagram. She goes, had a good day with mom today.
Like, that's cute.
Not always like this. And I'm just like, oh my God.
I know.
I really admire that.
I aspire to be that open on the pod.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot of fucked up shit that happens.
Yeah.
To me. Or like
well, maybe if we started saying this stuff on the podcast, our people around us would be acting right. They'd be like, don't want this on the pod.
Hey, you would think, though. You would think. But I warn everyone. I'm like, everyone's susceptible to a pod. I'm always like, I'm always getting content for the pod.
Oh,
so I'm always like, you guys, everyone better do fucked up shit so I can post. Talk about it. Post about it. Same thing.
Speaking of fucked up shit, dude.
Yes.
Okay. Number one. The day before Thanksgiving does have a name, and it's called Drinksgiving. Jerry has taught me this word, but it's also widely used. But I for sure thought you'd know that terminology.
No, and someone else brought it up to me. Someone reached out to me on Instagram, and I'm like, I knew it as Thanksgiving Eve, though. I feel like that's what we've said.
Drinksgiving.
Drinksgiving's funny.
It is funny.
How was that? How did that go?
It was good. It's my one night of the year that I go out. And we started off at Water Street in Kent. Why, I do not know. I was looking around. I was like, I don't recognize anybody here. The whole reason why I come out here is to people watch people that I people watched in high school. That's the whole reason I do it. Just so I can observe you and be like, are you the same?
And judge you silently from afar.
Yes. I don't need to talk to you. I just want to look at you. Oh my God. But we were in this bar and I was like, who are all these people in my hometown? Why are you all here? It's so loud, by the way. Like, COVID doesn't exist. We're just out here. Puffs of vape smoke throughout the whole place. I'm like, what is going on? So quickly, I leave there with everyone. I didn't leave by myself. I wasn't that kind of intoxicated yet. And we go to Ray's place. Woo-hoo. You know, if you know, you know. It's our hometown bar, and they have like an upstairs, downstairs, start upstairs. Everything's great.
Best fries in town.
Truly. But then some of Laura's friends were supposed to meet us, and then the upstairs got full, and so our friends couldn't meet us at this whole table that we like had like claimed up there. It was very annoying. So then we have to go back downstairs, but there's not enough tables, like enough space at the table. So Josh and I end up just sitting at the bar, and we're kind of like bullshitting. And Josh is going a little too hard. Like, he was taking shots, and I'm like, that's a different kind of energy you bring to the table. When you go out and you're doing shots.
I literally, okay, when Joe takes shots, I'm like, yes, dude's about to loosen up. It's going to be a good night. And I get like stoked. I'm like, oh, if he's getting shots, like shot of Jameson, I'm like, oh, he's feeling good. This is good.
Oh, yeah. He'd be like, oh, of course, light and a shot. I'm like, huh. He's like, you want one? I'm like, you've asked me that 5 times, and I've all said no.
Can you take shots?
Yeah, but I have to get in this headspace for it.
Hard fucking no. I will throw up immediately.
Really?
Everyone who knows me knows that. I'm surprised you didn't yet.
No,
Well,
I
I guess
could
we
be-
don't go out drinking too much.
No.
But literally could never take a shot. People still try to feed them to me. I'm like, you know better. Look at me. Do you want Ralph all over your face?
Oh, you have to. I
You want
disassociate
straight
for them. I'm like,
vomit?
it's like I'm going to like lift 500 pounds. It's like
I wish I could. My body
like,
physically.
I got this.
My body physically says nope. It comes just right back up and out. So I'm like, if you want throw up on you, that's why I say to people, and they're like, "Oh,
Would you like some projectile? I can make
with
it
your
up.
shot?" No, you don't.
But so we're sitting at the bar, and I'm like looking at Josh. My back is like to the front door, and Josh looks at me and he goes, "He's here." And I said, "What?" And high school sweetheart came walking in. not Dave.
I thought, oh my gosh,
That-
you had me.
Oh yeah, no, he had me for a minute, and I was like, he was like, "He's here."
Name that starts with an R?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't give him a fake name, but
Rick.
I've called him Ryan before. His name is
Oh.
Ryan,
Okay.
but haven't seen him in 10 years, probably.
Oh, Josh went to high school with you.
Yes, and so Josh holds a weird because it's different because he's seen me and Ryan together before in a way that he's never seen me and Dave together. So to him, it's almost like I was just with Ryan, even though 10 years has passed.
Oh yeah.
But it's just one of those like weird situations to try to navigate.
Yeah. Was
It's
it
like-
awkward? Was it all right? Was it? How are you? How you been? A classic catch up.
No. Because one of my like best friends from high school, Brandon, was sitting at the bar with us, and he was sitting on my other side. He goes, "Nothing, just casual, just sitting in between you and Ryan at a bar 10 years after high school. What's weird about this?" But like I have this weird like thing with like my high school sweetheart where it's like I don't hold any like ill will. I feel like
Hey, good for you.
very fond, which is why I feel like Josh gets a little like uncomfy because it's just like I would love to talk. I would love to like catch up and like see who he is now, because like you're a stranger.
Yeah.
You are a stranger to me. I'm a stranger to you.
Mhm.
Like it's this weird thing of like your first love, and like you grow up together and then you grow apart, and it's just like, you know, one day it was just this. It was a cycle, like you go through, I think, with your first love a lot, this cycle of hurting each other until you have to decide, like, we got to pull out because we're just going to keep hurting each other.
You don't
And it's
tell
like,
me that.
it's like I truly loved him too much to keep hurting
Mhm.
him. So, yeah, it was very weird, very, very strange.
Like, who was uncomfortable, you or him?
Oh, I don't know if he was uncomfortable because we really didn't talk. It was just like we acknowledged each other. Laura, when we left, Laura gave him a hug, and then I gave him like a group hug with Laura. I mean, he's like 6'5". He's a huge human being. So it just was like a group hug. But it was like, that's not the place that I'm going to have a conversation. It's like, this is too much.
So basically, you're just living every Hallmark movie. You're living it out. Also, my dream would be that. And
I
that
know.
my high school sweetheart would have a conversation with me.
I know.
Hashtag-
Yeah, I don't know if we ever will.
Sad.
And that's okay. I don't know if we ever will have a conversation, but you know, it's nice. I think it's nice to go out on those days and just see people and see the people who you used
See
to
that they're
know.
doing all right. Well, good, Rach. I'm glad. I
yeah.
feel like I enjoyed it for the night when I did it. You just get to people watch. You get to see people you used to see.
Yes, it's disturbing, but like I kind
Like
of
we
like
went
it.
through we went through a long time together with these people. Some serious trying times.
And I think really what it is, why I like going out on that day specifically, is because I know and I'm prepared to see people that I used to know.
Instead of running
And
into
them on a random Thursday.
Right.
It's like, what are you doing here?
We've all made the conscious decision to show up here tonight
We
so
made
that
the
we
choice.
can see people from our past.
I
And if
go
we're
out.
all on that same length, let's drink about it.
I go out specifically to see Pat Valerius in Ray's Place every year and give him a hug. We did a little dance
love a
battle towards
tradition.
each other.
We love our tradition.
Yeah, and that's it. Pat, I do it for you. I do it for you, Pat. He's
good.
He's my pal. So yeah, that was a very, I felt like worth mentioning, you know, running into your exes. Anybody else? Anybody else this holiday season? Let us know.
Pretty tragic last time.
Actually, I'm officially requesting all of your best all of your best running into your exes stories.
Oh, that's fun.
I want all of that.
Yeah.
I feel like if you don't have them, I'll look on Reddit because I feel like there's got to be a place for that. Also, to mention, the Am I the Asshole series that I did with Jerry is a Reddit thread. I don't know if we said that enough on it, but my sister was like, some of your listeners are fucked up. And I was like, what? And she goes,
these are random.
She was like, that one girl just sent her sister to an abuser very clearly. And I was like, that was a Reddit thread. She goes, what? I was like, so am I the asshole?
Disclaimer. Yeah. They're strangers.
They are strangers to us. And I mean, could be fake. Could all just be a ruse for Reddit, but we'll never know.
We're here for the stories, though.
Here for the stories. Also, something I'm gonna attempt to try, which is something you've already done, is I'm going to try to go off birth control.
Wow. Okay.
I just
it's a journey.
Yeah. I know. What do we do if I don't like it?
Then you go back on it.
Okay.
Or you just adjust. It's not, I don't know. It's a scary feeling. And I've had people reach out to me about it before. And it's like, but it's not, it doesn't hit you all at once. We're like, wow, this definitely feels different. It's a gradual thing.
Okay.
That you will start to notice differences, right?
Yeah. Like,
and in the beginning, they're all great ones. They're all great ones, right? Like more energy, mental health has shown improvements. Like that's what I experienced at first. And I was like, cool, this is great. And I'm not anxious or as depressed. And that was great. But I feel like over time, like you'll see like, okay, maybe there is some weight gain or maybe there's not. And it also varies for different people. And that's what they say.
Right. So it's like I've been, and to clarify, I'm not going off birth control to get pregnant. We still don't want pregnancy here. So we'll have to wear penis hats for a while.
And they suck. Let's just talk about that.
Like, you really do. And I do feel like I don't love them, but it's all right.
Is it? Okay,
yeah.
Good for you.
You smell the latex like a freak.
Well, not anymore.
Nice.
I feel like I'm getting real sad about it too. Because my taste and smell is back, yes, but it's not back to what it was.
And Jess was
hyper nose. Just, I could smell everything. And I relied on it with, like, literally, I could smell my dog's pee before I walked in the house. I'd be like, they pissed. I know it. And I'm so aware of it. And I like that about me.
Well, maybe this will give you some peace of mind. Now you can have condom sex and not smell the latex. Jess used to be like, it just turns me off. You smell the latex. And I said, yeah, what?
Yeah, just also the time that they have to put it on is like, this is awkward. Now we've ruined the moment. Things need to be going at all times. And for you to stop and to just... Also, like, we'll just laugh and make a joke. And
Usually,
that's
to be
fine.
fair, we grab the condom at the same time. I need the lube. So it's kind of like a whole prep situation.
Lube.
It's a prep for
I'm a
insertion.
new lube girl.
You're
I just started.
Jess.
New lube girl here.
And is it good?
It's fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not bad. Like,
I think that's why they created it, to make it better.
Yeah.
I think it was the whole point of lube.
You're right, but I was never just like, I always thought like that's what you needed if you were a dried up old prune. But that's not the case.
Throwing shade.
No, but like I just thought if you, and there's no shade in that either. Like, I know how vaginas work, so you don't have to tell me.
Oh no, I found so much peace in lube because it's like before like I knew to use it, I would put so much pressure on my body to like create the amount of liquid that I needed.
You take there's so I'm not saying you're less of a woman if you can't get juiced up.
No, we got the juice in a squirt bottle.
Exactly. There's no
What
shame.
if there was lube in a spray bottle? Sorry.
See, that's shit like that kills the mood. Why am I so embarrassed of stuff when I'm having sex? I can't.
That's a trauma situation that you should probably work through. For
Okay.
being honest, because
It could be. I don't know. I just like things.
You feel awkward about things all the time, though. You're easily like weirded out and awkward.
But I'm good at rolling with things too. Like, thank God I have the ability to make an awkward situation a funny one.
Thank God. But
thank God.
I will keep you updated on my. I have 2 more weeks on my birth control pack, and I'm gonna ride those out.
Hey, may the odds be ever.
I'm just hoping it doesn't make me
favor.
like an emotional wreck. Like, what if I've been on birth control since I was like 20? But even before I was on birth control, like 15 to 18, and then I was off of it for a little while, and then got back on it.
It's nice to feel things. I cried a lot when I was off of it. I was like, thank God I'm back to myself.
I think like when I feel things, I just worry that I'm like spiraling. Like, what if I'm spiraling out of control?
No, not necessarily. You're allowed to feel things, but I didn't cry for years, unless something very terrible happened. But now I can really get it going.
Nice.
And you know how I felt like in the last episode? I love it. I love to cry.
Love a good cry.
But it was weird because I was like, why? I used to do it a lot, and now I'm not.
And I do think
weird.
that's like the scary thing. So if anybody has any good like books or podcasts or something to read about, like, I think what's hard about like even sharing like, you know, that going off of birth control or whatever is like, because it's literally survival for women. Like, we literally have to get on birth control or else we face the consequences.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, I'm lucky that I'm in a position where like, you know, I have a partner that I trust to have safe sex with, but I'm also with a partner that like, if I do get pregnant, like we can handle that outcome together. But like, reading the side effects of like hormonal birth controls and all of that is it's very scary. And what I think is even more scary is that like doctors were putting us on these at 14, 15 years old and just like not knowing. Like, we did not know the side effects.
No.
At the time. But it was also like, did we care?
But no, we were told that it would stop our PMS and it would
clear our faces.
Clear our faces, it would regulate our periods, and it would keep us from being pregnant. So we said, say less.
Mm-hmm. Let's not mention the, you know, blood clots and other such things. But yeah, so I'm interested to see how like I level out off of it. So
yeah.
And this year, like,
Best
I've been
of
on birth
luck.
control for a while. My period has been outrageous this year in a way that I'm just like
on birth control, which is
on birth
crazy
control,
to
on
me.
the same birth control I've been on. So I've just been like, I just have a feeling of like, I think I need to see what my body needs to do. So
That's, dude, when you know, you know. And
Yeah.
that's how I felt. Because like, there was no rhyme or reason when I was ready to get off. I was just like, something feels right to get
Yeah,
off. And I don't know, you just got to listen to that instinct.
So here we go.
It's not going to be the worst. We're not going to die. We could just cry a lot more. And that sounds like
I
a
don't
good-
want to do that.
good plan.
I hate doing that. Here's my one of my last tidbits that I thought about when you were talking about like Joe. But so Josh and I are, you know, we still have the house, buying a house, all of that. There's many moving parts still, but we had a bunch of inspections done, and basically like a couple things came back, and we ended up going to the sellers and asking them to pay for termite treatment. So like there's a little bit of termite damage, but like, you know, we needed to like treat it so we wouldn't get any further. It was like $1,000, and it was just one of those things like we kind of want to ask for them to pay for it, but we also felt like we've already asked for $15,000 off asking. They've accepted, like they probably won't, but they did. They said, okay.
Oh, nice.
Josh is like, something's wrong with this house, Rach. I got a feeling like something's got to be wrong. These people are just trying to get rid of this house. I'm like, yeah, Josh, that's why they're selling it. They're selling the house. They want to sell it.
But there's no like investment in that. I mean, like there's no.
Josh is just like, I just feel like
There's
they're
nothing
gonna
in it
do
for them besides the money, and that's what they want. So
right, but he's I feel like something's wrong for them
something's off.
for them to be agreeing to all this, and I'm like, get out of here with your 6 attitude, dude.
I'm
Always
surprised you guys got as far
suspecting
as
something.
signing. I mean, listen, that would be. That doesn't sound very six like, because I feel like that would be a lot worse for us on our end. But I hate to hear that, but also at the same time, you just got to talk them through. Everything's fine. Big decisions are scary, though.
I know they are. They are
especially
scary.
Big financial decisions.
Oh, yeah. And I think Josh and I have been getting in plenty of stupid fights of the week about buying a house and all such things. Like, you know, just stupid stuff like, are you the only one that gets to decorate? What if I want to have a say? It's like, what do you like? Show me in. I'll be like, show me inspo of like what you'd want our bedroom to look like. Like, I haven't even really thought about that. But he doesn't give me any inspo. And so I'm like,
okay, then say less. I'm just going to do it myself.
Yeah, I'll brainstorm. I'll do it.
You know what? I am very lucky that, you know, not that I don't want anyone else to have a say, but Joe is like, these are my few requirements for a house. And they're tiny. They're like, I'm like, let me take care of that. Like, I feel like I'll pick out a good house for both of us. He's like, yeah, you're right, Jess. You probably will. I'm like, thank you. I need that. Same with decorating. Never been his expertise, and he knows it.
No, Josh he always wants to be like, I put my flair on this.
Cute.
And I'm like, Josh, I'm keeping your flair in mind, babe. Don't you worry.
Yeah, like I'll decorate a house that has both of us in mind.
Yes. Yes. But
Cute.
I do, like, I have this thing of like, I ain't a team player, really. Like, I'll keep the team in mind.
You don't think we know that, Rach?
I hate asking for input.
We know, Rach. We know.
My podcast partner has dealt with this a lot. But it was just like, for me, it's like when I explain, like, you know, if I share our vision for like the renovations I want to do in the kitchen, I'm like, I don't want you to go to Home Depot with me. I don't want you to be going to Lowe's. Like, you approve the vision and I will go.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, Rachel, that's what I want to do. I want to go to the store and like do it with you. And I said, no.
Yeah.
I don't need that. I was like, because what if the thing that we want is out of stock and I have to make a secondary choice and then we're weighing, and what if you want something different and I want something different?
Yeah. That's why I do all that stuff alone. Two things that I do alone, and I promise I'll never do them with anyone else. It's cleaning and it's shopping, especially for the house. Because once it's done, literally, I decorated for Christmas, bought a few new pieces, adding to the collection. And I come home and a lot of things are different. I'm like, Joe, what looks different in here? He doesn't have a fucking clue. He's that guy.
Oh.
He's that guy. I also cleaned the entire house yesterday and washed the floors, and they're covered in paw prints, dirty paw prints. Obviously, we know I have the husky life, and it's my backyard is a mud pit.
Here's just a thought.
He has no idea.
What you're going to need in your next house, turf lawn.
Turf.
You're going to need turf.
Absolutely.
You don't need any mud.
No.
Joe doesn't enjoy mowing the grass. He doesn't need to do that.
No.
If you do, it can be front yard situation. You guys need turf. You need no mud. You just need...
I'm on board for that decision.
I've made a choice for you. See, I love making choices.
I'll present it to the masses and then say, your opinion doesn't matter. It's happening.
Turf.
Teflon.
I know. They're great.
Hey, good.
Decided.
Good thought, Rach.
Do you have any more tidbits before we get into the very, very...
I have nothing.
Stuff?
I literally have nothing. That other than I was able to attend Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah.
And that's it.
Good. On Thanksgiving.
I was able to spend time with the fam.
Good.
I was able to do the damn thing.
Good.
Eat the turkey. But I have one complaint.
Tell me.
Why did nobody give me fucking leftovers? I got one little baggie. I'm usually sent home with like 2 weeks worth of stuffing.
Yeah.
Of all the stuff.
Speaking of stuffing, I just discovered I love it.
What do you mean? Tiny croutons? They're the best.
Mushy, wet croutons?
That's what they are.
Sopping in turkey juice?
Joe's like, what is stuffing? I was like, tiny croutons. Mushed. With celery pieces and some sausage.
Oh, if you don't think that I spent Thanksgiving morning.
Did we talk about this? What's your favorite Thanksgiving food? Is it now stuffing?
Oh, yeah, but also green bean casserole. But I'll make green bean casserole year round.
You trash.
But mashed potatoes gravy. I was saying to my friend Jake the other day, I'm like, everybody knows turkey isn't good. Turkey is not. No, you can make a good turkey, but turkey isn't.
I mean, it's bland. It's white meat.
It's white meat. Turkey is just a means for getting gravy in my mouth.
Yes.
It's just a gravy vessel.
Also, I might get shade for this, but I be mixing and mixing and mixing that plate. I'm talking, I want the bowl. I want Literally mixed.
You're like a shake up Chipotle bowl.
Everything on my Thanksgiving plate is absolutely mixed into one hodgepodge. If I don't have one piece of every food item on my fork for one bite, it's not good. I'm talking turkey, corn, mashed potatoes, stuffing, and a little bit of bacon in one bite.
Bacon?
Yeah, my dad throws bacon on his turkey. Top notch. But I'm talking.
That is the hottest take I've ever heard in my life.
And don't knock it until you try it, because I'm literally eating an elevated KFC Famous Bowl. I'm eating the Thanksgiving version of a Famous Bowl. And you guys are missing out. Next year, I'm sorry I didn't give this take to you before. Next year.
Try it out.
Don't knock it until you try it, I promise you. Even a little bit of a roll, like put the fork, that whole plate full of just fucking Thanksgiving mush, pop it in with a roll in the same bite. Fucking fire.
What is your guys' Christmas meal? Like, do you guys do turkey or ham?
I think it's ham. I think we a ham fam.
So here's what I've decided.
Are we? Yeah, ham and cheesy potatoes. Yeah,
that's what we do for Easter.
But mixing them, ham and cheesy potatoes in one bite.
Yeah, that's normal. But I've decided for Josh and I'm like, we're a beef crew. We are roast.
Beefy
we are
couple.
Roast on Christmas.
A roast
Christmas
is good.
roast.
A Christmas roast. That's Hugo.
Exactly.
That's
Get that ham out of here.
Ham is only Easter, I feel like.
Ham only needs to be Easter. Turkey only needs to be Thanksgiving. And why isn't a beef Christmas roast? Why is that not the staple? Beef is good.
Make it your own, Rach.
Beef gravy?
We write our own history here.
I'm good at making gravy, and you can take that to the bank.
I'll take it to the bank and cash out.
Cash out on Rach's gravy. You've got zaddy soup. Yes. I got gravy.
All right. Hit us up with that gravy recipe.
Oh, it's all on heart and feel. I can't give it a recipe.
Oh. People be asking for that zaddies. Tag us in it. Tag us if you.
I might be making some zaddies this
good
week.
You must. I spent a long time putting that together for people to use. So use it.
You'll see it. You'll see it on our stories.
All right. Never mind. I was really about to be like, we'll be right back. Shut up. Okay, guys. Highly requested episode here. But we're doing the damn thing.
And we are noted up. We're
prepared.
We've been taking notes because
we've been listening. We've been watching. We've been scrolling.
Oh, so much scrolling.
I
always like, do I want to do my own research or do I want to just copy other people's research and theories on TikTok?
A little bit of both.
Oh, I definitely felt like I was doing a little book report. I was like reading and I was writing.
You guys, we are here to dissect, psychoanalyze, and really dive into Taylor Swift. All Too Well, 10-minute version, Taylor's version.
And we are here to provide our insight because the story she weaves here, like, it's unmatched. The energy,
I mean, Jake really fighting for his life out here for something that happened about a decade ago.
Jake Gyllenhaal. Fuck you.
Fuck you, but also sorry.
I ain't.
Oh my God, we've been dogging him.
So, I mean, I already outed myself a little bit, but that I hadn't even listened to All Too Well, the original version before until
like, not a true Swiftie.
I really am not a true Swiftie. I'm sorry. I want to be. And this is my attempt but you guys
this is her time to shine, time to appreciate.
You guys must be really tired. Because in order to be a Swiftie, you got to be up all night.
Mm-hmm.
Making connections. Theorizing.
Connecting the dots.
Forums.
Connecting all the dots. Because I'm telling you, if you were to weave Taylor's songs to lyrics to albums, like everything
God.
connects in a really cool puzzly way.
Yeah.
And I find that very fucking cool. But like she has these Swifties wrapped around her finger with this shit.
Oh yeah.
The numerology, the cryptic shit. But also there's stuff that Taylor admitted to putting in her stuff that she didn't mean to have it be cryptic, and they found some connection. And she's like, oh my God.
Oh my
like,
God.
yeah, Taylor's admitted to being like, you guys find stuff that I don't intentionally put in, but somehow works. And she thinks it's hilarious. I talked to her the other day.
You talked to her the other day about
I just made
it
it sound like I had it. I mean, I've been doing
She'll be on soon.
She will be on soon. I just watched Miss Americana as well. So I was in a full Taylor Swift dive.
I should have watched that before this.
I mean, I can cliff notes it for you. There's some I actually wrote down some parts that really stood out to me that I didn't know about Taylor.
You prepped for this in such a real way. I'm so proud.
Do I ever do anything in a fake way?
Never.
Couldn't be me. But yeah, so I mean, we can really get into it. You guys, I think that we're gonna Rach and I have a few different takes on it. We're also going to kind of get some highlights of what All Too Well in general I feel like means, like, and there's some highlights that the story in the song truly tells that I feel like we'll get into in a for better and worse way. Like, we're gonna
only in the best of ways.
Only in the best of ways. So I'm excited. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see where this takes us.
So, like, when I started doing, like, research, I felt like I wanted to, like, understand the difference between the original version and the 10-minute version, because I was like, what did she add? Like, what did she add to this song?
And I think this is funny because I think it comes from someone who didn't know the song.
I didn't know the song.
You know, so no, but I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, like, your take on that is understanding what everyone knew of it before. And how it differs from this new version that everyone is still obsessing over. But it's a big deal, right?
It is a big deal. So the original song came out in 2012, 2011.
I don't know.
Something like that. We could have researched that. But I was just trying to think of, like, where I was in my life where, like, I wouldn't have heard, like, I was in college, my freshman year of college, I think. Why wouldn't I have heard the song? No idea.
I don't know, but I'm telling you, me and Danielle blared this song this whole album. When I think of this album, I think of Danielle and BG.
We were both in BG.
I know.
This was a crossover time in our lives.
I know, which is crazy. I had a car in BG, which is rare. My freshman year, I had it. I had it all 4 years. Couldn't be without it. You know, first off, motion sickness. Second off, I just needed that control. And her and I would be like, "You want to get out of town?" We would go and we would just drive to Toledo all the time, and just to get out, just like act normal and shop somewhere different. We did it all the time, and we listened to this whole album. So I actually had to get her take on. She's a big Swiftie, and will psychoanalyze anything. And I was like, "Hey, do you want to head to the stew and record with us?" She's like, "I should have," but I did get her take on things, which I will integrate in some of this to pay tribute to my girl.
Perfect. So, but I feel like the original version, it gives, like, the first time breakup energy, like your first real love, and I feel like it's almost purposeful, like what she took out of the song for the 3-minute version is because it is much more, like, moldable to like other people's stories. In the 10-minute version, very specific.
We go,
yeah,
we get into full detail, which I think is in my sense, I was like, is she, or was the timing of the writing protecting him in some way?
Oh, probably, for sure.
I mean, regardless, we were doing Taylor's version versus not Taylor's version, you know, like, could it have been 10 minutes in the beginning? I don't know. Maybe people know that it could have been. I don't know. But it's like somehow giving these details about a decade later is still like assassinating him in a classy way. I don't know. It's so far gone that it's like, yes, fuck Jake Gyllenhaal. That's what we're doing. And that's funny for the sake of comedy, for the sake of the album. But like, no one truly means that, because it's like, it's dead and gone, you know, like it's been buried and we're done with it. But still,
did you write down any of, like, your favorite, like, original verses from the original?
They're all from the new.
Okay. So the one, because really, I've said this last week, but, like, I've listened to the 10-minute version way more times, and so it was in a unique position because I didn't know exactly what was in the original and what was new. And so one of the hardest hitting lines is "Time won't fly. It's like I'm paralyzed by it. I'd like to be my old self again, but I'm still trying to find it." And there are a couple lines in this song that I'm like, oof, and that is one, like, where you're, like, stuck in a bad way, like in a bad breakup, and it's like, why are the days dragging out when I like that just like slow like time is moving so slowly and it almost feels like cruel.
Yes. Or like, why can you not just get out of it? Dude, we'll address this, but I feel like someone just reached out to us via Instagram. I was like, I cannot get over this fucking breakup.
Oh yeah.
And she's young. And she's like, I know I'm young to be listening to a podcast about divorce and newlyweds, but she's like, do you have any advice about a bad breakup? And that really sums it up.
Yeah.
Though it's like, why is this dragging out? Why do I not feel like myself?
Mm-hmm.
Why do I not know who the fuck I am coming out of this relationship? Because how many times does that happen? When you're like, I made myself to be his perfect girl.
Yeah.
Like I've spent so much time creating someone who I'm actually not, or maybe I'm still, we're young, you know, like we're still 19, 20s trying to mold ourselves. And we're like, okay, maybe this is who we're going to be.
Yeah. Or this is who I am. He brings this out in me. I think I went through a lot of that. Like maybe this is always who I was supposed to be. And he just brings it out.
Me too. Because I mean, we're moldable. We were young, but also like we're experiencing things to understand who we truly are. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't come later in life. I mean, it does come later in life, but we don't know that. So we are just, you know, soaking up these experiences.
Yeah. I think All Too Well specifically is like pretty well known as, now that I've done my research and stuff, as Taylor's best song, like the best song she's ever written. Which is so funny. I'm sorry, guys. I apologize. I'm a fan now.
She stands.
But I think that's because like this song is so vulnerable, because it's not just like your average breakup song. It's a breakup song about like, I remember what happened, and this meant like, it's almost the admission of like, this meant more to me than it meant to you. Mm-hmm. And like, she romanticizes the relationship even when it's over, like dancing, you know, in the refrigerator light and the drives upstate. And she's acknowledging that she remembers, and she remembers fondly, which I think is the most vulnerable position to take after a breakup, that you're just wholeheartedly heartbroken.
Yeah.
And I think that's why so many people love this song, resonate with this song specifically, because she's put herself in a position that a lot of us don't put ourselves in, even in heartbreak, because I think it's uncomfortable to stay in this, like, I'm heartbroken stage. You want to be like, it's all for the best, or the next good thing's around the corner. And there's none of that in here. No. There's no like, well, like, I'm moving on. Yeah. No, it is.
I'm harping in it, and I remember it too well.
Yeah.
I remember it too well that like I think of it probably more than I should.
Yep.
And I kind of made this connection. I'm probably not the only one, but it's like we're all like, fuck Jake, right? But it's also, in my opinion, it's just like fuck any toxic relationship that had similar feelings. I feel like this is one of the most relatable songs because it really represents heartbreak, you know, and that's really what it is. It's kind of exactly what you said. And it's just like, we're all saying like, fuck Jake Gyllenhaal. No, we're actually talking about that one ex the song reminds us of. Okay. Yeah. We're all talking about that one relationship that we remember all too well 10 years down the road.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I take it. And I know, and that's why this song, I mean, it was just like the most requested Taylor's version album, and especially All Too Well. Like Swifties have been waiting for it. We've known it was coming, but could never have asked for anything better. But what is you did ask about original version song lyrics, and it's so casually cruel in the name of being honest is my fucking kryptonite.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? Like literally you're ruining me, but you're just being honest.
Yeah.
Right? Like you are saying the most hurtful things to me, but you're just like, I just got to be honest with you. This is just how I feel. But it's
because I think
casually
we
cruel.
As a society, women, whatever, are told that we need to be able to take honesty. Mm-hmm. And so when we take offense to what they describe as honesty, it's like, oh, I just can't handle the truth.
Yeah.
But like there's a difference, like cruelty in the name of being honest changes the whole dynamic completely. When you can step back and be like, no, like they were trying to tear me down.
Yeah.
It wasn't about honesty. It wasn't about making me better. Mm-hmm. It was about them being right, or them digging the knife in deeper.
Right.
And that changes the perspective. And I think it is really cool to hear this song from Taylor 10 years later, because I think it adds like definitely a maturity and on the reflection.
Yeah.
Because I know
I agree.
she wrote this before, but I think like you can't really tell what she wrote before. And like I feel like "fuck the patriarchy" keychain on the ground was probably a newer line.
Yeah.
I just
It will.
at the time.
Oh, it's 100%
at
a
the
newer
time
line.
the song came out. Taylor went through like she refused to call herself a feminist phase.
Yeah.
So I feel like she probably wouldn't have written that lyric, but
also in Miss Americana, she goes through talks about her sexual assault case and what she went through with that, and then her coming out in the political sense, which was one of the raddest things.
I've seen that clip many times.
Yeah, with her conversation with her dad.
Yeah.
Where she was like, "This is fucking important to me." And
Yeah.
wait, I actually quoted it because I thought it was one of the coolest boundaries I've seen set. And she said, "Dad, I need you to forgive me for doing it because I am doing it." And that's her saying, like, I want to go against who it was, Marsha Blackburn, who was running for Senate at the time in Tennessee. And she was like, she stands against everything that I stand for. And she's like, I just can't keep my mouth shut. Like, this feels wrong.
Yeah.
And I thought it was so rad that she's like, it was against her dad, and her team was like, we don't want you to go this route. You've stayed silent through political stuff. Like, no, you're a singer. You don't have to be a politician. She's like, no, this is too important to me. She said, I need you to forgive me for doing it because I am doing it.
Yeah.
To your dad. I thought that was pretty rad. So
I think it's a weird place to hold as a celebrity where like, I mean, I post like my political thoughts more on my personal Instagram, and like I don't have to give that a second thought.
But she has an influence.
Yeah, she has an influence. So it's like this responsibility either to withhold your thoughts or, to share your thoughts, but then you're taking a stance, and it's just this like tumble. But I mean, obviously since that, I think she's felt a lot more freedom to be like, oh, I'm going to say what I need to say.
Right.
And take a stance, which I feel like her fans all appreciated later on.
Yeah. And I think she was worried about that with most of her fans being in, conservative Tennessee or Tennessee Christian values things, and who is, whatever. But
right.
Anywho, moving on from that.
So I've started breaking down kind of different lyrics and new ones that I really liked. So I think
also, can we talk about people saying that the scarf represented her virginity? I know you have it.
Scarf equals virginity ?
Same. Okay. That would be, I mean, I get it. But also the scarf was like it happened. There's a photo of him wearing the fucking scarf.
Yeah.
Or was that photoshopped?
Could be cryptic. I think it could be multiple meanings. But
it also could mean like her broken heart. Like, it's very symbolic in a way that could probably mean both.
Yeah.
But there's lines in the song that kind of insinuate that it very well could have been her virginity.
Oh, for sure.
Crazy. Okay.
Yes, what is it? It looks like innocence and it smells like me.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't even make that connection. Yeah. Damn it.
Swifties be on it.
The woman was too stunned to speak. Oh my God, I didn't even get that one. You're too busy looking in between the lines. You missed the big fucking open things. That's so good. Okay, did you break down this lyric? Did the twin flame, did you do this one? Of course you did. Okay, the line is, did the twin flame bruise paint you blue? Okay.
Just between us, did the love affair maim you too?
Okay.
So I did a whole breakdown what twin flames is. Did you do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just
look at us, Jess. Jesus.
I know. Okay. We've actually touched on twin flames on this podcast.
I met mine and I like swerved the other way. I said no thanks.
But hey, maybe here's a fucking example that you're not meant to be with that person.
Yeah, not necessarily.
So it could be very complicated.
So a twin flame, the definition, well, it's one of the most intense relationships you can have. The theory is that a twin flame happens when a soul splits. It inhabits two bodies. Mm-hmm. So it's like when you come together, it's like your soul is whole again. AKA
the soulmates in the craziest sense.
Yeah.
Like soulmates
referring to like you have two separate souls and your souls have met throughout life many times. And that's a soulmate. It's like your souls are familiar with each other. A twin flame is like you took one soul, ripped it into two, placed it in two people so they don't feel whole without each other, which is just toxicity soup.
Good soup.
Good soup.
But bad soup.
Bad soup.
But what's interesting is that her and Jake are twin fire signs. They're both Sagittarians.
Oh my God. Welcome to the club, Tay. I didn't know you were part of it.
We know that Sag is a fire sign. So they're twin flames and twin fire signs.
Yeah.
Which is kind of fucking crazy. But then she says, or no, it's kind of like what you take is like the twin flame bruise is the hurt inflicted on them because of the relationship.
Yeah.
So did the hurt from the relationship make you sad?
Yeah.
That's that fucking line. I mean, who fucking thinks of that? Who fucking thinks of that?
I mean, I think anyone who's met a twin flame, found out what a twin flame is, like it really is the feeling of like, I think breaking away from that person, tearing them away, it causes physical pain. Like it physically, and it's not going to end up well. Literally, when I met this guy that I talk about being twin flames with, I was very glad that I was over the age of 25. But I remember feeling something I'd never felt before and feeling scared in a way that like I'd already experienced love and I'd experienced commitment. I'd experienced like marriage, and these things scared the ever loving shit out of me. And when I started looking into twin flames, I was like, this doesn't end well for a lot of people. Yeah. And I said, no. After doing my research on twin flames, I've decided no more. I've decided I will not like to do this. I'm going to awkward moonwalk
out of here. Crazy. So, that's an intense feeling.
It's nothing that you can explain, and really it is just this like it's very confusing. But I mean, there are some twin flames that do make it and live together, but a lot of times they also talk about like twin flames will come back into your life.
Are we expecting a comeback from this dude?
No, God, no.
We'll never hear from him again.
Hopefully not.
It's too scary.
I mean, I hold the same position.
Yeah,
as I did then.
For
even
sure.
More strongly now that like I've experienced like a real partnership and like what commitment is and like passion and that feeling. Like you can't. I think I can't replicate what I have with Josh and like with anybody else. Like he really is like my best friend, and like I've thought about talking about this. Like I forget who kind of mentioned it to me. Like, do you feel weird about buying a house with Josh? Like you aren't engaged, you're not married. Like, isn't that weird?
I feel like this is more and more common though.
What I feel like a lie that we believe is that marriage breeds commitment. Mm-hmm. Like how often do we hear like girls like,
but he was married.
Yeah. Or just one, like waiting to take the next step before they commit. I knew Josh was in probably from about 6 months in.
Yeah.
And I knew I was in, and it was like, now we're living our lives together. Marriage does not keep you married. So you have to know that like you are committed to your mutual growth together forever. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I didn't bat an eye at us buying a house. I really didn't think about it too hard. I didn't feel like we needed to get engaged before it or anything.
No,
like,
I didn't think anything of it either, actually.
It's just like we are committed to each other. If you future plan together and you're like, my future is you, what? Yeah, my future is you. Whether or not we get married, whether or not we get engaged, like my future with Josh is not contingent upon
a piece of paper
and a ring.
No.
So
interesting.
Okay, let's hit one of my new favorite ones. So this line comes right after the verse where she talks about meeting his family and going through his old photos. And and I was thinking on the drive down, anytime now he's gonna say it's love. You never called it what it was.
Yes. Okay. Also, I'm finding out through Swifties is that he didn't say he loved her until months after that they were over.
Yes. You get that from the song for sure.
Right. And
you never said it. And I think if this was her first love, you go through this battle of like, who's going to say I love you first? When we say I love you, is it just assumed? Am I not saying I love you? And you know, it comes this kind of like, you don't want to say it until they say it.
Mm-hmm.
And so you kind of are projecting your feelings on them and be like, oh, they must feel this too. They're just not saying it yet. And I think him never calling it what it was, like, really must have like hurt her, and especially hurt her if he said it that he did later. Because then you just feel crazy. You feel like I've just gone through all these emotions because I thought you didn't love me. Right. You're telling me you did? Fuck you.
But now you're telling me after the fact.
Yeah, when we can't do anything about it.
Which I feel like in this line, in the new one, is he never called it what it was till we were dead and gone and buried, check the pulse and come back swearing it's the same month after 3 months in the grave.
After 3 months in the grave, that's,
they're saying like 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
After is when he said it. Like, after I've been in the grave. Like, you just fucking buried me. And now you're coming back and being like, no, I loved you. The fuck?
Yeah, no. That's a no for me. Yeah. And I feel like just so manipulative.
That's the fucking gaslighting shit that we just would love to get into with this. Okay. I also want to say this. Yes, there was gaslighting portrayed in the film for sure.
So something I do want to say, just because that's the film depicts gaslighting. I feel like a lot of people ask me what gaslighting is. I've had a lot of people be like, "What is it though?"
Okay, well, I would love to show you the scene and fucking,
because it is, and I feel like everyone in general needs to watch it because
to understand it.
It's so triggering because I mean, I've been with different boyfriends, different partners of different times in my life. That is the definition of like a toxic fight.
Mm-hmm.
And like he says in this, I don't think I'm making you feel that way. I think you're making yourself feel that way.
And that is, if you could sum up gaslighting in one
but
sentence.
It's the way they say it, and with charm, and you start to doubt yourself, and you know, then they make it all okay. It is, watch that scene. Take a peek at your relationship. Take a peek. Make sure that's not happening to you, because, oh my God, is it so scary accurate.
It's just scary in general to watch that scene. If you've ever been in a fight similar to that, it's like you said, it was triggering because it was like, oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
And honestly, for me, it's like when I would hear that, I would be like, ugh. It was so frustrating because you're bringing this up. I would say, like, when I fight, I know I'm fucking bothered by it, right? And if I've got it enough to be upset about it, I brought it to you, and you've turned around, spin it back on me. I was like, but no, like, I'm having this battle within myself. Like, but no, like, I feel, you know, but like the I feels are not in this conversation, you know, like they just turn it right back to you, and that's fucking crazy.
You put it that way. You saw it that way. I wasn't even thinking about it. Why would you take it that way? Oh, it's a lot. So that to say, please watch that film. It's right in the middle of it, where the gaslit nation comes in.
Gaslit nation.
They gaslit that kitchen on fire, and you say, "Whoa."
That's a crazy scene, though. They did a fucking phenomenal job with that film, I must say.
The last thing I'll say in the film, because it really just is like good, and obviously like Swifties love the Easter eggs, but Sadie, her acting when the breakup is happening is like
heart-wrenching.
Another level. There's no audio, like, because it's just like Taylor's song in the background. The only like long span of dialogue is the kitchen scene.
But why do you feel like you know exactly how she feels? Getting crazy. The despair, like, you can just see it. Like, the way that she tenses her body up, and you hear her say, like, so this is it? This is it? And I, like, you just remember feeling like when someone just gives up, and it's like, so it's over? This is what it is? And yikes. Yeah, I had to go to a deep place to really start relating to this stuff, because I haven't felt like heartbreak like that in a very long time, you know?
Yeah.
So you have to go deep within to where this feels very familiar.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a long time ago for me, but a very deep, dark place.
Oh, yeah.
And I had to crawl in there for a minute. I'm like, ooh, don't stay too long. Don't stay too long here, Jess.
Look, get some binoculars.
I need to look from afar. But it's like, oh my God. Oh my God. That's a very, very scary place to be. And just like, even when she was crying in the bed, that fucking hunched over, life will never be the same feeling.
I had like a 3-day period of that once.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched Someone Great like 5 times. If you haven't seen that Netflix show, you gotta.
It's so good.
Watched a lot of La La Land. And I just cycled those movies and sobbed and just felt my feels in a way that I don't care to ever again. Darkness.
Dark.
And really, like, I mean, I'll never forget the first time I removed myself from mine and Dave's house was the summer before I actually left. And Meredith, my best friend, came over. And I just, like, I couldn't talk. Like, they called Meredith. We're like, hello, you need to make a house call here.
I need a wellness check.
And I'm just like sitting in my old bedroom just with remnants of him and I, like our dating relationship, like pictures. And it's just like, how do I even move from here? That scary like ledge of like the darkness that is ahead of me that I know I have to walk is so long.
And doesn't seem attainable.
And it definitely did not seem attainable to me at that point. Hence why I crawled back into the hole, into the marriage.
Right.
For a while longer. But, I mean, sucks.
Was that a tear shed?
No, it was an itch.
I really thought we were getting somewhere. I'm like, what?
No.
Next lyric we broke down, which is I just kind of took from a lot of people's interpretations versus my interpretations of this.
Okay.
For when your Brooklyn broke my skin and bones, I'm a soldier who was returning half her weight. There was a lot of interpretations on this.
I didn't even look into that because I was like, what does Brooklyn mean?
Yeah, so I guess that's where they hung out.
Okay.
I think Brooklyn is
like
where the maple latte.
His Brooklyn.
Yeah.
His Brooklyn.
Right.
My Brooklyn. Oh,
right.
Okay, I get it. That's what Josh calls his Cleveland Browns. My Cleveland Browns.
Yeah,
okay,
exactly. Like his version of Brooklyn wrecked her as a human is what an interpretation. So another thing is like returning with half her spirit, half her emotional, and even physical weight. Someone mentioned, and then they talked about like her eating disorder, if that is in reference to that.
Mm-hmm.
And also just like someone else interpreted taking on the emotional burden of having someone then losing them, which I feel like was, in my opinion, kind of how I took it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all
I think it's interesting that you took it with like losing half of her, like half like his weight, because I definitely took it in the like returning home like a shell of yourself, like losing half of her, like whether that was weight or just like not necessarily him being the other half of her, but just like feeling like a whole side of her is just gone.
Right.
And like I think obviously like I mean with heartbreak, like I don't think I ate for 2 weeks when I left.
Yeah.
I don't think I just
have like
couldn't.
crazy anxiety.
Yeah.
When you're going through it, like,
oh yeah, you just, yeah, I couldn't keep anything, like the pit in your stomach. There's the constant nausea of like, what the fuck did I just do? What the fuck is going on?
It's like when I feel like for me, when it was like that, I was like, when you're still like going through a breakup, my breakups were always like, okay, we're gonna see each other in a few days to talk through it. Like, we're gonna, like, it's never over when it was over. In my experience of a really hard heartbreak, it was like, okay, we said that we were done, but we're not actually done until, I mean, this is a long time ago though, but that's like how it was. It was like, fuck, I'm on edge until this is actually over.
Yeah. What changed for you at your final breakup with that person? What was the like? Was it
2
just
weeks,
your mindset totally changed going into the breakup? Was it just like
I was completely removed, and he could feel that.
Mm-hmm.
We drove to hometown Mapleside, watched a sunset, and I was like, I have to do this for me. Like this is for me. I am not invested in this anymore, and I can't be. And like he was still holding on to some hope that like I would come back to it. Like I'm going to do and have this fun and come back. And like that was his way of like accepting it. And that it was just like I was done. I was so done.
Yeah.
Sunset went down, separate ways.
Wow.
Painting the picture.
Poetic.
Painting the picture for you guys.
The last one I have, it's like a long line, but you who charmed my dad with self-effacing jokes, sipping coffee like you were on a late night show. But then he watched me watch the front door all night, willing you to come, and he said that it's supposed to be fun turning 21, which puts the song 22 in its place entirely.
Oh, for sure.
Because now you know that on her 21st birthday, which she's actually mentioned this many times, like in different songs, like missing her birthday. But like, I mean, 22 is such a weird age to choose for a song, but it's clear that like this was her, like, this is going to be a different year. Like this is behind me now. This is what we're going to feel. Happy, free, confused, and lonely in the best way. Yes. You know, miserable, magical. Oh, yeah. I know that song.
Oh, okay, right.
That is one of the songs that I know. Tonight's the night that we're going to forget about the heartbreaks.
Oh, okay.
It's time. It's time. And I think I could really relate. And I feel like a lot of people can relate to like the vulnerability that comes with introducing you to your families, especially because this relationship was like, it came out like a few weeks before Thanksgiving and ended by the new year. Like it was
so
literally
during all the family holiday stuff.
And so like introducing him to everyone, like her knowing where she feels, like what she feels, and knowing like she's made the decision that this is real and this is going to be forever. And then for that person to not reflect that same like commitment sucks. And I liked but then he watched the sipping coffee like you were on a late night show. I was like, I can just imagine him doing that too. Like
I could see him doing that.
Sneaky motherfucker.
That, what does she say?
Cheeky
motherfucker. No, but I guess this kind of brings back to like kind of what the song's about, right? Obviously we know it's heartbreak, just like highlights of it. We talked gaslighting obviously in the film, but what do you think about right people, wrong time?
Ooh.
And how do you feel about the age difference? There was a significant age gap in this relationship, and she obviously talks about it in the entire song about him being like, hey, if we were the same age, this would have been different.
So
which
actually
made her want to die.
I said that this is actually my favorite line. I kind of forgot about it, but this fits with that. The line that my first oof in this song came from this line. You kept me like a secret, but I kept you like an oath. I think age differences, I mean, it's really weird when I talk about age differences because I do think, I've said this before, like if you have a significant age difference with someone, it's kind of fair to say that they might not be mature enough to date people in their own age group. That's kind of like a common saying. But it's weird for me to say that because my parents are 20 years apart in age.
Oh, that's right.
So, so I say that, but like, obviously, like I love my dad and I love my mom, and they had a 25-year marriage that eventually ended, honestly, due to their age gap. And I feel like their age gap did play such a role in like them not being able to connect in their marriage, but also I think marriage looked a lot different when our parents were getting married in like the 70s and 80s.
For sure.
Because it was like you were getting married to build a family, and the way the family looked was different than where a family looks like now. And I think my mom really didn't expect my dad to help with us. She didn't expect him. Like she became a mom because she wanted to become a mom. It wasn't like a co-parenting thing, even though my dad did anything that she wanted him to do, really. But really, in the end, I think my dad was getting older and facing a lot of different issues, and it was too vulnerable for him to have a wife in those issues. Like, for him, it was too much to ask someone to stand by. The flaw in his system is now that is my responsibility and Laura's responsibility. So can't call him a genius, but yeah, age differences are a really weird concept. And obviously theirs wasn't 20 years, but it was 9 years, right? Like he was 29, so, yeah. She was 20. But the whole, like, you kept me like a secret line is a really shitty feeling. And you see that in the film too, of like him like
dropping her hand,
him dropping, not wanting to like acknowledge his feelings for someone that could be so young or inexperienced. When
have you ever been in a relationship where it was like more real for you, like he was keeping it a secret, obviously?
So I mean, this is funny. It was not like a real, like, he was my boyfriend, but like it wasn't serious. But my freshman year of high school, I just gotten out of a really, like, I was in an abusive relationship in middle school, but we had broken up. And so over the summer, I had kind of like a summer fling with this boy that like went to like my church, and he was 2 years older than me. So he was a junior when I was a freshman.
Sounds problematic already.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Not really. I mean, I guess it's kind of normal, but
I'm kidding.
He would like ignore me in the halls. So literally it only lasted like 3-4 weeks once school started, because I was like, what is wrong with you? Like, I'm sorry, the hallways are not that big. You can't be looking over here. Like, but it was very much that he was embarrassed to be dating someone that much younger than him.
Yeah.
So I mean, we broke up. It was also very much he made me break up with him.
So what was that, middle school or high school?
High school.
Oh, okay.
So I was my freshman year. It was before me and Ryan started dating.
Right.
Yeah. But he ain't shit. But yeah, I have felt that, and it was very real at the time.
Yeah.
Feeling like this, like the feeling of someone being ashamed of you for something you can't control.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's unfair because it's like, you decided to date me, knowing my age, knowing I'm 20 years old.
Yeah.
Why are you deciding to only be embarrassed about it at certain times?
Yeah. There was a situationship that I was in where he was significantly older and had kids, and I'm like, I can do this. This is doable. I mean, thank God it did not work out, because that's me molding myself to fit
someone else.
Yeah. And that was 100% a fuck no. But but yeah. That was a problematic age difference, though.
Yeah.
That would it have worked out? I mean, not in the end, no.
Yeah, but I do feel like age gaps feel smaller the older you get. You know, like a 29 to 38 is very different than 20 to 29, right? Like 20, you're basically just graduated from high school. You may or may not be in college. You aren't even legally allowed to drink alcohol yet.
Right.
29, you probably have a career. You might have a house. You have a life. You got the 401k. Like,
right.
So you're at a point, like, you went through high school, college, maybe grad school. You've lived more of your life, or maybe you've been in your career since you were 18. Maybe you've had 10 years of being in the same job. Like,
yeah, I feel like adult experiences are adult experiences, like, yeah, that kind of like, oh, we're all adults. Like, yeah, it shouldn't feel like as big of a deal. But when someone is in a significantly different part of their lives, like a parent, like parenthood, and someone's not, like, that causes some issues.
Yeah. And just socially, I think it would be awkward to date someone that is
100%
not legally able to drink.
Not only that, like, I've
socially, you can't go to bars. You can't.
I've had two relationships. Yes, I've had two relationships where, someone I was dating was like coming to realize that he was an alcoholic. And this is just social differences.
Mhm.
And I agreed to support him through that. But like drinking is actually a very big part of my life. And I don't mean that in an unhealthy way. It just is. I enjoy it. I enjoy beer, I enjoy brewery hopping, everything about drinking socially. I love it. And then the older guy just never chose to drink. Like that was his choice, just was never for him. And I'm like, how did these worlds collide? Like did I want them to work because I liked this person? Yes. But could that ever actually, would I just be sacrificing things that I love for people that I love? Yes.
Yeah.
You know, and that's not great.
Yeah. But a quick circle back to what we were originally talking about.
Oh, sorry.
Do you, no. This is just so we tie it together because I feel like people are like, they were going to say it. Do you believe in right person, wrong time?
Oh, yes. Yes, I do. Yes, very much so. There's so much shit that you're going through when you're meeting people, and that could be not the right time. I think in a perfect world you meet back up with that person, but it's very rare that you do.
And I'm in a very funny position of, I've been hearing, that term right person, wrong time for a long time. But then I like realized I'm with my right person, wrong time.
Oh.
Like Josh and I tried to date when we were young and we just weren't there.
That's right.
But we were always very drawn to one another and like definitely gravitated towards each other. And it's just funny to know that like we weren't ready for each other yet. And we both knew that at that time. That like,
God, yeah, you literally just like squashed my entire thing that people rarely. They rarely.
They do. I mean, it's one thing for it to be like you spend a year apart and come back together. Like we spent 10 years apart and came back together. 9 years.
That's crazy.
9 years between like the last time we had seen each other and our first date, really. So
there's hope out there.
There's hope out there.
Right,
don't hold on to hope for that kind of stuff. I'll say that. If you have a breakup, live your life. Like live your life, move on, love again, experience heartbreak again. Like keep putting yourself out there. But when the right person, wrong time comes back around, it is so sweet. Because I think Josh was always meant to be my best friend, but he just didn't know how to be a friend at the time because he didn't even know how to be a friend to himself. He didn't even know what that would look like.
Right.
Because like I firmly believe like I love my best friend love. Like I love that I know that like we will love each other and be next to each other in any season because he's my friend.
I think those loves last. I think
Me
that's
too.
like new age because it's not always like, I think it's rare that you marry that your passionate love.
Yeah.
Like that head over heels. I mean, if you do, then great.
Yeah.
But like the best friend love, I feel like is the one that's going to last.
Yeah.
Partnerships.
Your partner.
Same team. Equal. That's what we love.
I love him. So he is my right person, wrong time. So that's what I think is funny about it. And it is fun when they come back around and you get to know them as who they are and because you change.
Yeah.
And I think like I've loved all the ways that he's changed and what he's realized in this time. And it's been 2 years now.
Okay.
So Swifties, how'd we do? Did we do enough? What were any big points that we missed? I'm making sure that I didn't forget because man, what if I left out, you kept me like a secret, but I kept you like a nose. This whole episode would have been a wash.
Yeah. Do we leave anything out? Did we? Also, I did. Someone said this, and I was dead. It said they're like waiting for an end credit scene in the film because Jake was a Marvel guy.
Dead. I did dead ass watch the whole last 2 minutes.
You have to. He's a Marvel guy. You never know what kind of end fucking credit scene would happen. I thought that was fucking funny.
Is he a Marvel guy?
Yeah.
Who is he?
Cut that out. We should know better before you try to ask me those questions.
Who is Jake in the Marvel?
He is a Marvel guy. He's in something.
Is he?
Yes. Jake Gyllenhaal. What was he playing? Something.
He's not. He's not Spider-Man, is he?
He was in Spider-Man. He's in the new verse Spider-Man.
Oh, well.
He was a villain.
Oh, he doesn't count.
Okay, you guys, we did it. Hope it was up to par.
Hope this wasn't too triggering or, send you two back.
Speaking of triggering,
this is a segue.
We do have to talk about next week's episode. We are having my very good friend, Meg.
Our good friend.
I claim her. She's mine. And we are going to talk about grief. This is a highly requested topic you guys asked that we speak on. And we are going to get us some specifics about suicide.
Yeah.
So if that is a trigger for you, something you don't want to partake in, totally fine. We're just warning you now.
Yeah.
Obviously, it will be warned next week as well when we are actually doing the episode and before you guys.
The first 20 to 30 minutes will always be banter, and we'll give a quick.
And I'm telling you, Meg and I will not disappoint in the banter. So once it gets to the serious stuff, you can tell us to fuck right off.
Yeah.
Also, we are opening it up to you guys to ask any questions you have about grief, suicide. If you want to ask any questions about that, I'm not sure what, but Meg has personal experience with that. Jess has personal experience with that, and I was hospitalized at a time in my life for wanting to go through with that. So, I think we'll be bringing some different perspectives to the table, and hopefully being able to provide support, guidance, just solidarity with you guys, as grief can be all encompassing. Absolutely.
So
cool. We're ready to get fucking weird next week. And
will we cry?
Probably. It's gonna get deep. We will see you there. Thank you guys as always. We love you so much. We hope
this has been Jess and Rach's version.
Jess and Rach's version.
We're
all too well. Is it? It wasn't. We just analyze it. Okay, we love you so much. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.